Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Here's my soldering iron here. This is the sort of thing I expect when somebody mentions soldering iron. GearBest were kind enough to send this soldering iron in for us to take a look at. As I say, it's the sort of thing I am familiar with. So you can imagine how surprised I was when GearBest sent me this. Yes, this apparently is a soldering iron. And it comes in this almost adult-proof packaging here. So I'll tell you what we better do then. Let's take it up to the studio and we'll have a look at it properly. Okay then guys, so here we are in the studio with the little TS100 soldering iron in its almost adult-proof packaging here. There we go, let's slide him out. We get a little envelope. It's got some instructions in here and a few other bits and pieces, but basically there's your soldering iron. I have to say that I was expecting it to come with a little power lead attached to it, or at least in the packaging. I was quite surprised when this tiny little package arrived, actually, to be honest with you guys. Take a look in this little envelope here. You get a little Allen key and 2 spare screws. We get some bilingual instructions, Chinese and English too. Right then, let's get this little fella out and take a look at it. So as you can see, it is an exceedingly small soldering iron. I don't know what I was expecting. I think I was expecting something slightly larger, to be honest with you guys. Let's have a go at assembling it. Just push it into the front of the main unit here, and then we'll just align how I like the, because it's a slightly angled tip here, so I'll just align it so it's handy and useful in the angle I want it. There we go. Right, bring in the little Allen key. We don't need to go too mad tightening it down, so we'll just use it like so. And that's the assembly, guys. There's not a lot to it really. I was expecting this, as I say, for some reason or another, to come with its own little power lead in the back here, but you don't get anything like that at all. The connections in the back are little small USB here. That's for updating the firmware, and this is where your power lead goes in. I did try to power it with this rather old and beating up power supply of mine. I've had this for quite some time now. As you can see, it's falling apart a little bit. It only produces 30 milliamps output on it though, which is not enough to power the soldering iron. It'll turn it on, but it's not enough output to actually heat the tip up at all, so I found out. So this morning, my first day back at work after the Christmas holiday, today being the 2nd of January 2018, I took the little soldering iron into work because we have some handy sized little transformers there with what I thought was the right size plug to go in here, and in fact that was the case. They did have the right size plug to go in them. So I plugged one in to the back of this, plugged it into the main supply at work, and lo and behold, it powered it up quite nicely. I thought, great. But obviously I'm not about to steal from the place where I work, because it's my job, you know, and I need the money, and you can't get the sack over stealing stuff, really, can you? It's not the done thing, I don't think. So anyway, these transformer things, we don't use the plug on the end of it. So what we do is we cut it off and discard it, chuck them in the bin. So I thought to myself, if this will run off that little transformer, maybe it will run from one of these batteries. This is one of several that I have at home that I got from work, because these have been taken out of one of the units, or several of the units that we supply to people. It was returned for rework, and the battery was decided not to be up to the job anymore, so they got a new battery in their unit, and this was going to be thrown down the recycling dump, so I had it. So what I did was I made myself this lead up. Basically what you do is you put these little connectors on the battery terminals, and this goes into the back end of the soldering iron, and I connected it up to a battery of a similar state to the one I've got here. It's one we keep on our benches, you know, just for temporarily powering stuff up, and lo and behold, I got it to work. Right, let's give it a go here, see if it'll work for me at home. Should do in theory. There we go, and it's telling me to press the little button. Let's have a close-up of that, shall we? Okay, go, it's saying press this button here, so press this button here. And there you can see the temperature ramping up quite nicely. I better keep my fingers away from the hot end of things. As you can see, it's definitely running from the battery. There's no other power source involved here. It'll take a little while to get up to the temperature. I think I've got it set at something like 330 degrees or something like that there. There you go, 250, 260, we're getting there. 280. Slowly ramping its way up, obviously with a more powerful, with more amperage and a more powerful power supply. There we go. Reached temperature now, look, so the tip will be nice and hot, so I'm going to keep away from that end of things. Let's get some solder in. Oh, I can smell it. Yeah, God blimey, yeah. Right, and so I've got some solder here and a few other bits and pieces we can have a play with. Let's just have a look. Let's get the solder onto the iron. There we go. Hopefully you can see the smoke coming off of that, but it's tinted up quite nicely actually, guys. How you adjust this is you've got these two buttons here, and you simply push this one here for down. You can see it's ramping it down, and push the other one to go back up again. Right, there we go. It's going back up again, look. There we are, soon pop back to 330 again. Okay, what we'll do is we'll start, I've got some this 3202 copper wire here. Let's put one bit in the vise, just hold it still. Like so. We'll see if we can tin it up. Give it a go. Yep. Tinned that one up fairly successfully. Let's have a go at the other one we've got here. It's only a very small iron though, guys, but it seems to be doing okay. Some solder on there, just making quite a unusual smell. Right, let's see if we can actually join these together then. Should be able to. Let's give it a go. There we go, we've got it. Let's see how successful a joint is. Yep, very successful then. Let's try this heavier gauge wire here, shall we? Right, this is some fairly hefty multi-stranded earth cable, as you can see. It's almost as thick as the iron is. Let's see if we can tin that one up. Let's give it a go, see if we can get some heat into that. And remember, it's only set at 330 degrees, guys. There's plenty of smoke coming off. I'm not careful, I don't particularly want to be breathing this in because this is a lead-based solder. Yeah, it seems to be having a bit of a struggle with this heavier gauge stuff. But it's starting to tin it. Let's get some more in there. I could step it up to about 400 degrees or whatever, because that would definitely do it, but it looks like the 330 degrees is doing it as well. It's not doing too bad. There we go, we got it. Yeah, finally got it. So we did manage to tin it up with a little iron, guys. Right, and so if we let this sit for a while, I think it's about a quarter of an hour or something like that there. If we let it sit for a while, it should switch itself off, go to sleep as it were. So what we'll do is we'll just leave it here for a little while and we'll come back to it. Okay guys, while we wait for this little fella to go to sleep, what I've got here is an old PCB, a non-functioning PCB now. It's got plenty of surface mount components on it, and I've got some surface mount resistors here as well. So what we're going to do is, when we wake her up, oh, here we go. Just started doing it, you saw that guys. So when we wake her up, we'll have a go at removing some components off the board here, and we'll try soldering a new one in its place. Now this thing apparently has got an accelerometer in there. What's it saying on there now? Yeah, I think it's gradually ramping it down by the looks of it. Right then, let's give it a shake. And there we go. It's going back up again now, look guys. So it doesn't take long for it to go to sleep, not really. You're only talking about what, about 3 minutes or so to go to sleep, not long at all. I thought it said in the instructions it was a quarter of an hour, but apparently not. 3 minutes or so then, so that's alright then. So what we'll do is I'll just get this board in shot and we'll have a go. So I say we've got plenty of little bits and pieces we can try and take off. These little capacitors, little resistors. Let's get a proper close-up for you. Okay then, let's try and shift, say, this little component just here. See if we can get that off the board, shall we? Do we need some bit more tinning going on? I think so. Yep, get some tinning going. There we go, it's got that part off. Just swap hands very carefully. We'll operate it left-handed. Pop them on the other side and try and lift that side off. Might need to re-tin the iron again. Because this is set up for my right hand, so it's a bit difficult for me to use it left-handed, but let's see if we can lift it for you. Come on. Oh, just push the button on the unit itself. I should have brought a sponge up here really to clean it with. Hang on, here we go. Come on. There we go. That's got it off. Okay guys, so we've got some new surface mount resistors here. I'll just try and pop one out for you. Let's have a look. Let's back off a minute. Right. So we can get one out. I should ought to put my glasses back on really. But there it goes, it's just fell out. There it is. You can probably see that there. There he is. So what we'll do is I'm going to try and solder him onto R4 here. So we can solder him onto there. So put him into place very carefully. This will be fun actually. Right, because I'm a bit wobbly tonight. Let's give it a go, see what we can do. So we can get him to stay down. I've cleaned the tip up a little bit. Oh, hang on, he's coming off with the dear. Oh, it's got him that side. Get a little bit of solder on him this side. That's not very good, it's blobbed across there, but you get the idea how it works, guys. Well, the battery's lasting quite well, it's still running. I've had it running for, how long have I had it running now? Have a look at the time here. About half an hour or so, and still going. It hasn't flattened the battery yet. What I'm going to try and do, guys, is I might see if we can't shift this capacitor off the board. Flip him over. Which one is he? Is that one there? Right. See if we can get some sort of focus going on there for you. Right, so what I'll do is I'll get out the capacitor the other side with my finger. I'll see if I can oik it out for you. See what will come out for us. Once again, I suppose I should have tinned. Hang on. Clean the there we go. Right. Put my glasses back on, that'll help as well, guys. Wait a minute. I might be able to see what I'm doing then. Right, and here we go. Let's tin it up. There we go, get it on there, get my finger around the other side, see if we can oik it off the board. Yep, there's one side of it, and a bit more solder. Give it a shove from the other side again. Right in, there we are. Okay, see if we can lift all those little capacitors off the board. It's not a bad iron actually, guys. I like the way I can run it off this little 12-volt battery here as well. That's quite good. It's still going, as you can see. It's been going for about half an hour or so now. So look, can we just get that last bit off of there? There we go. Got him off. Little capacitor there. So it does work. It's quite good on PCBs and wires and what have you. It's not bad. And I say you can adjust the temperature quite easily. Just a little. See, we'll ramp it up a bit. Can we ramp it up? There we go. 400 degrees is its absolute maximum, guys. You can take it down quite low. So look, how far can we go down with it? Rocketing down there, look. 100 degrees is its minimum. 100 to 400 degrees then. Take it back to 330 again. There we are. So even running off this battery here, it's quite good. I don't think it's flattened yet. I'll have to check the output of the battery now, but it doesn't take. I suppose it must take some of it out, take some out of it, but it's still going after about 3/4 of an hour here, so it's pretty good. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll try and get these two wires apart that I soldered up earlier on. Can we do it? Come on, you can do it. Yeah, there we go. Back together again. There we go. Brilliant. So it's not a bad little iron actually. Little small thing you can tuck away in a toolbox somewhere, a little small bag. You don't need much to carry it with. You know, a little bit of solder with you. I know this is a great big reel, but you can get smaller reels. You could make a smaller reel. Yeah, it's not bad. You could tuck it away in a little bag. I mean, as for carting a battery around with you, well, you know, I think you know, a laptop. If you had a laptop charger with the right style of plug on the end of it, you'd be well away. You could use that, but you know, if you needed to, a 12-volt battery will do it. So basically, you could run it off your car battery as well, for that matter, if you needed to. It's quite versatile, I think, guys. Now, when I started the review using this battery here, it was showing round about 100% charge with this device here. So there you go. I think you can see that little LED there lighting up. So it's about half, about 50% charge in there then. So it's not too bad. It's still running the iron, as you can see. Okay, so we've done some surface mount with the little soldering iron. Let's see if we can't do some through hole. We'll put this capacitor back on the board, although not in the same place because it's full of solder and I can't find my solder sucker. But it will just happen fit into these holes here. There we go. So it's gone in there quite nicely. So if we turn the board over, rest it on these pliers so the capacitor doesn't fall out. Give it a go. Is it going to go for us? Yep, there it goes. So even run on a 12-volt battery, it's not a bad little iron then. It's quite good actually. There we go. Yes, not too bad at all then. I like this little thing. Ideal for electronics. If you don't have, if you don't particularly want a larger iron, you know, something you could take about with you. This, I think, this would suit you quite nicely actually. So you could run it off of a laptop transformer. It runs anywhere between 12 and 24 volts, I believe, if I remember the instructions correctly, guys. But the little charger or transformer I was using at work only rated 3 amps, and that ran it up quite nicely, and we were doing some soldering at work with it as well. As I say, to be able to run it on a battery, it's quite handy. You could run it from your car battery if you needed to. If you've got any soldering to do on the car, it'd be ideal. There's a little Hobbyist soldering iron, quite good. You know, if you don't you need a largish iron like the one I got in the garage down there. Okay then guys, not a bad little iron then, little small tiny iron, easy to transport around with you. And say if you take a laptop about and it just happens to have the right connector in there, you're fine. You could use your laptop charger if you needed to, or you could use a small battery like this one here. I've got an even small, that's a good point, hang on, I've got a smaller one downstairs. So I've got this tiny weeny little thing here, again lead acid battery. It is 12 volts, 2.1 amp hours. Right, let's bring in the little iron, we'll plug it in. Right, will it power it? Yes it is, you can see it ramping up quite nicely there I think guys. 174, 180 odd, 200. Even this little battery here will run it. We're getting there, 270, 300. Get the solder ready, 330, look. Get the solder on the end here, look, there we go guys. Working a treat. I'm quite curious to exactly how much impact this iron has on a battery. Here it is sitting here in a steady state doing nothing at all. The soldering iron isn't connected as you can see down here, and it's showing 75 to 100% charge here. So let's connect up the iron and see what happens, see how much impact it has on it. Right, here's the iron, switch him on, and it drops it down. As soon as you get some heat into the iron, it does actually drop it a little bit. But I say I was running this for about 3/4 of an hour to an hour, and it's not done a great deal to this larger battery here. I think it had more of an impact on the smaller battery we had in here, but a battery this size and a car battery it shouldn't have too much impact on, to be honest with you. Okay guys, so that's my review and an explanation as to how I managed to power the little TS100. Seems to be quite a versatile, compact little soldering iron. I think it's quite a useful little thing. I'm sure I shall get hours of use out of this thing in the future, unless of course my son spots it, and then it will most probably disappear off to his apartment like my other one did. Won't matter too much because I've got my other one down there in the garage, but it's still a very nice little soldering iron. It's ideal for electronics, as we've seen, both surface mount and through hole technology as well. We managed to put this, take this capacitor off and put it back in again, which is quite handy. We managed to tin up this rather hefty gauge wire here. It did take some doing, but we managed to do it. And we also joined a couple of wires together as well. This is fairly hefty gauge stuff, 32020. It did that quite nicely. Alright then guys, I hope I've answered a few questions for you regarding this little soldering iron. Please leave any comments or questions down below and I'll take a look at them. If I'm not too busy, I'll get back to you. We better thank GearBest for sending this in for us. Thank you very much, GearBest. Do appreciate your help with the channel. You can share the review, you can click like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you do subscribe, don't forget to ring the little bell there. That'll give you the option of getting updates as to when I put out new videos, because I'm putting them out at least once or twice, maybe even 3 times a week, mainly at the weekends when I'm not at work. You can follow me on Instagram too, guys. And don't forget to check out GearBest from my special link down below, because that will help the channel as well. I'll get a small commission from anything you buy from that link, so thank you very much guys. Okay, well thanks for watching guys, hope you enjoyed the review. Yeah, so it's quite a nice little iron, I like it, very nice indeed. It'll probably be putting itself to sleep in a minute or two by the looks of things. It's been sat there for a minute or two. It takes about 4 minutes to go to sleep, I think. And as I say, we've run it off some little batteries as well, so it's brilliant. It's quite good. Okay then guys, thanks for popping over once again. Hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll catch you again in the very near future then. Laters!
Oh.